Dan, last name?
My name is Dan Brisson. I'm Jim Boyle's son. I'm here to kind of represent him. He could not be here, so I just wanted to make sure that somebody was here to really represent him. Mark is our engineer. He's an awesome guy. He does really a lot of work for us, so he's going to kind of tell you what we're thinking and hoping that we can get it through.
Can you spell your last name, please?
Brisson.
So yes.
Yeah, go ahead, guys.
So I'm Mark Reed from Heritage Land Surveying and Engineering, located in Southampton. And as you probably all familiar with this piece of property, that contains the old rug lumber property. So what we've got is, just show you some of the pictures of the existing structures. Sure. So the existing structures in that handout I gave you. And Mr. Boyle that is under agreement to purchase the property and would like to discuss removing the buildings with the commission. And are here tonight to discuss it with you. We've got some larger plans that we can leave with you. We've done a boundary and topographical survey of the property, as well as a wetland delineation that is shown up on these plans that are in front of you that I can leave with you if you like. The intention of the project would be to raise the two structures that are on the property. They are in, unfortunately, very sad shape structurally. They've been neglected for many, many years. Yeah, I think you know one. I got a bunch of them. And then go before various boards within the town of Greenfield to develop the site into storage units. Called mini storage units or storage units. So that's the kind of the end goal of the developer. Would like to develop the property to restore it, the surrounding areas, and to build a series of mini storage buildings on the property.
Do you have any images or anything of what the proposed, what it would look like at all? No.
So yeah, I mean, we got the overall site plans.
Yep.
Their typical design is, a storage unit. They're one story. Some can be 2 stories, but I doubt very much because then you have to put an elevator in it. It makes sense to. A couple of the buildings are a little bit larger, so they may be controlled air buildings where you offer heat and air conditioning within the storage units. A lot of people want to have that because of
Climate
great
control.
weather. They want to have their storage items under
Vehicles?
control.
Vehicles.
We haven't gotten that far, to be honest with you yet. We're just in a preliminary stage.
Asking.
Yeah, right. Typically, yeah, sometimes they put vehicles in there, but it raises a whole nother level of
Well, I
issues.
think the issue is not, I'm not on any sort of I've been on planning board, I've been on zoning board, so I
Yeah.
apologize for the question.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what happens is, and the concerns that you're gonna get is that the vehicles end up being parked around the perimeter,
Yeah.
and they're not. They're on the property, and they're not in storage, and they're not, they just-
Oh, I got you.
it could-
Not within one of the units.
and
just parked
it
around.
changes the look.
Yes.
That is not the plan.
I'm
The plan
just-
is not to
yeah.
have vehicles
Around,
around stuff.
I would say, so at this point, you have not applied for any permits with the town?
Correct.
You don't own any, okay.
You're really the first board officially we've talked to requesting that demolition permit be granted for the project, so that we can then move forward to the next phase of design. We're gonna have to file with Conservation Commission, as well as planning, and it is zoned for storage units. So the zoning is
Good, yeah.
acceptable,
Because it's commercial.
right?
So this was an old factory and then turns to a newer factory. So what about the, you know, the drilling and checking the underneath for any contaminants and stuff like that? Is that something?
Oh,
That's
21E, you mean?
2180, yeah.
Yes.
That's
So-
coming in the future, or?
Yeah, that would have to be done in the future.
Right.
Again, that's, you know, this is a project, it's not gonna be built tomorrow, it's, you
No, no,
know,
no, I understand.
you know,
Understand.
it's all part of the
Right.
process, you know.
So am I reading this right, the wetlands, is that the line of wetlands there?
Yeah, and this is a little bigger plan, I can show you, but,
That's just good.
yeah, they both show the wetland. Yeah, maybe I should try this one. It's a kind of existing conditions plan. So these are the edge of the bordering vegetated wetland that kind of
Okay. Uh-huh.
surround the building.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's the.
The idea is to stay within the footprint of the existing building areas or pavement area that are out there,
Mhm.
not go larger than what currently exists out there. In talking with the city planner, we want to try to stay within that original footprint of pavement and or
But-
buildings.
That's a setback, is that the 100-foot?
No,
setback?
oh, yes. Yes, yeah,
Anyway,
so,
we're not conservation.
Yeah, that's-
But,
Yeah,
just
right.
curious.
Yeah.
yeah, that's why we would have to file with Conservation
Yeah.
Commission, because
Yeah.
we would be in the buffer
So,
zone.
so I guess as the questions I would have directly related to this committee is there anything left that's interior historical features, machinery, line belt systems that should be documented and looked at by somebody, not, I mean, we like to photograph stuff. We've got several people
Sure.
who photograph things and they become a record of the historical society.
Yeah, I don't believe there's anything left inside.
I don't believe there is. I think the previous owners have
Stripped it pretty
I think
good.
they took that out.
Yeah,
And
took
I think
everything
Rob
out.
cleared it out pretty well
Yeah,
when they cleaned out.
yes,
Glad to have you
yeah.
come in and
I
look.
was gonna
or go over
ask,
that photograph.
I mean, I think just on practice, I don't see, I mean, technically, the way this has to happen, of course, is you have to apply for demolition permit and then we can have a public hearing and we'll have a public hearing. So this
Correct.
can't be a public hearing where we can actually make a decision. I mean, honestly, we can give you our impressions, but we can't,
Right,
but it's, the public hasn't had a chance to say anything, so.
correct.
And I think Rugg was, at least for a number of years, was simply assembling their products. They were being made overseas and they were shipping them and they were putting them together. They
Yeah, they're
weren't
there.
actually building anything there, or for a while at least. And there wasn't any real manufacturing equipment going on.
Mhm. So, yeah, we just, they wanted to kind of
Yeah.
meet with you first and, show you what we have and, see what your feelings are.
No, I drove down and checked it out, but obviously I haven't been in there.
Right.
Yeah, my thought clearly too, Scott, would be to, to document it, to go through, because it was, according to Macris, which is the historical record that the state
Yep.
does, built in 1855,
Yep.
was originally called the Munson Baby Carriage Factory,
Mhm.
made baby carriages.
Yep.
But reportedly also made arms, cutlery, edge tools, industrial complex, military or other manufacturing. So they made a lot of stuff over time.
Sure.
When that kind of, we don't really know that history, but it would be nice to be able to go and document what we could, for sure.
If there was anything left
Yeah,
in the
and,
building, right?
Well,
because of its age.
The building itself will express what went on there. And
Sure.
Right.
there might be parts of the building that would be,
Let's check with the Ruggs and see if they have any records.
So then, did you explore the possibility of renovating and working with the existing structure?
We have looked into it, we haven't really gone too deep into it. Looking at it on the face, it's a tired building, so.
Kind of pieced together.
Kind
Sure.
of pieced together and
For sure.
additions over the years, sure. Yeah, I honestly don't know what the original building looked like, to be honest with you, because it looks like there's some additions to it. throughout the years, but, and it's multiple stories, which really doesn't lend itself to our needs,
No.
you know,
No.
like I said, because then you have to get into elevators and you gotta do like freight elevators,
Yeah.
because somebody's gonna bring in
Yeah.
couches and stuff like that.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, you know, you can't, yeah, you can't do that without some,
Is that little cupola on the top in this photograph, is that that brick wood? What is that? That wood? I'm just curious.
I believe that, over here in this one, yeah, in this,
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
bell thing, yeah.
Well, the one to, no, actually this one to the right, that photograph to the right of that.
You're wondering about the real one.
this
Yeah,
one.
what's this
That's
one?
wood, I believe.
Yeah.
I think
Looks like wood.
it looks like wood to me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it does look like wood.
Bob, Dave, any insight, input, you guys?
No, just trying to absorb.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, that's why we want to come early, to, you know,
Sure. And we appreciate that.
yeah.
Too often we
Consider
find out
it.
about these things when the wrecking ball is knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Unfortunately.
I don't see any, it looks like so much of this has been added on that it doesn't look as, there's anything,
Yeah.
there's small authentic features, and I would suggest that, you know, we should maybe get Ed Gregory to do his thing and
Was my thought.
work with you and take some photographs.
He's a
And,
photographer.
and now that we have a little time and
Yeah.
maybe one or several of us would wanna take a look at it
Sure.
sometime. I'd love to see it and take a look, just
Sure.
out
Yeah.
of curiosity.
Me too.
But, I mean, it's not front facing to any part of the town, so I don't see that it's,
Yeah.
you know, a feature that the town is gonna
Right.
particularly miss.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
actually, I would disagree with that.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, it has potential to be visible from the Rotary,
Yeah.
and I would imagine your client will probably put signage up there and that sort of
I
thing.
can't imagine that they would let him take down any trees along that. With the wetlands being right there, with the highway being right there, nobody wants to really see what's going to be there.
Exactly.
So, I
My
mean,
point.
I can't imagine that they would let him take down anything. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I can't imagine the Conservation Commission will let him take down any trees. So we're basically going off the same footprint of what's there.
And there's
Coming
no
in closer.
access.
Correct.
No, there used to be a road
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was discontinued.
years ago, so
Right,
I
years
don't think there's
ago.
any chance of
It
that
was
thing coming back.
discontinued.
It'd be a dangerous road at best.
It's probably why the town cut it
Right.
off
Right.
years ago.
And actually, what you gotta think about is the actual pavement for the exit ramp and Rotary is probably way down here. This is the ownership or the right-of-way that the state owns and the property owns is quite a distance from the actual pavement. I wish I brought an ortho photo with me, which I forgot on my desk, to kind of give you a relationship of, you know, where the actual pavement is, where
Yeah.
you come down there and go around the Rotary and look. Yeah, do you have one that's?
It's on my, but yes.
Yeah, so that, yeah, this is not the actual pavement that you're coming off the exit ramp and Rotary
That's,
section,
yeah, sure, I get you.
you know?
What's the address?
Yeah.
It's Rugg's Place,
Rug.
Drug place, yes,
that's what it's called, yeah, so.
yep,
I mean, I think the question is more, does it bear historical significance to warrant a hearing,
right.
you know?
Mm.
That's
I'm
really
not
the
sure that you could make the case for that building.
Yeah, that's really, are you using any funding from, or is it all private?
All private.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. So the fact that you're funding it on your own, you know, takes us out of that equation a big deal. If you were looking for state or federal money,
Correct.
that would automatically trigger
Yep.
all that other stuff.
Yeah, and we are not. It's all privately funded.
Yeah, it's quite a
So, I mean, if you,
400 feet
I can
maybe?
actually
Yeah, it's,
give you a line distance from the building to the actual pavement.
And what you're proposing to build, you wouldn't see at all from the exit ramp?
51 yards.
Lower in height.
51 yards
50
from
yeah.
the Rotary to the building.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be lower for sure.
right, right. I guess maybe you'd see a glimpse of it in the wintertime,
Yeah.
when there's no vegetation out there, but right now it's so thick. I mean, when I drove off the exit ramp coming up and, you know, glancing in, you could see a glimpse here and there, you know?
But I mean, 150 feet from the road.
Yeah.
Well, it just, you know, it goes from being a historic property to being
Yep.
nothing.
Storage.
Right.
Yeah. That is true. That
There's
is
a
true.
lot of storage.
I think we should have a hearing, and I think, you know, I think it's a property that had a lot of Greenfield history.
I mean, I think that, I mean, you know, I agree, it is a pretty cool building, it is historic impact, that's a real thing, you know, that's pretty undeniable. You know, you can't really see it, so it's a little bit outside of the it's totally out, pretty much out of the view of people, so that kind of brings it down, I think, a little bit. But I think that, well, that they're using private funds,
Yeah.
and you couple that with the fact that the building is in seemingly pretty poor condition. You know, surely we could bring somebody in to look, you know.
What if we did bring your photographer in and have him really document photographs and put a monument by the pond right there and a little bench and, you know, something to really say this building was here, here's what this building once was, it, you know, it was
Right.
this, it was this, it was this. It could really go to show, I mean, the building's not gonna ever be anything again.
Yeah, if you
There's-
could include that in your plans, that would
Right.
go a long way towards satisfying us, I think.
And, you know, whether you wanna, the name of the storage units could be giving back, you know? Some of the historic.
Yeah, I mean, I
Baby
think,
carriage.
Baby carriage storage.
well, maybe not that exactly, but, yeah.
But no, I'm only kidding.
Yeah, I think making an effort to.
Right,
To document it and actually committing in writing to saying,
right.
you know, you allow us access to go and document it and you're willing to
Yes.
put some sort of a plaque or, you know.
Yeah, giving a little history.
Yeah, because one of our goals is to have, there were walking tours and stuff in town and to document historical buildings and things like that. Of course, some of them are gone. So that would go towards that, I think would be
Sure.
kind of a nice gesture.
Yep,
You guys be willing to draft something, if you were to send that, something like to us,
okay.
that would be,
Yeah,
I
I'd
think.
be glad to help with that.
Terrific. That website you were talking about there, can you forward that?
It's just Macris.
It's
Oh,
on the Mass Historical.
Okay,
If
it's on
you
the-
just, you can just write it down, Macris.
okay.
And it's got certain buildings
Buildings,
all
Yeah.
over the state, and there's
and
a
then in
description
Greenfield,
and.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and
it.
And yeah, you put the address in and.
Yeah, I went on it and I just typed in rug.
Oh, okay.
There's only one place it shows up.
Yep,
And you'll see there's a map and there's a little blue dot. So it shows that it is in the historic inventory. I mean, I'll show
gotcha.
you. Yeah, so that, there's a page right there. If you wanted to just-
Okay, so, yeah.
It's got a
give little
photograph
summary. Yep,
and,
gotcha.
you know, and
That's
so that's a
perfect.
big part of it is, if that's not
Yep.
done, if it's never done, it's just lost,
Yeah, right.
you know, so.
And, I mean, I think that it had potential for
Mhm.
being an entry
Yeah.
structure into the town,
yeah.
and
Well, you know,
this
it's,
is not gonna be something that,
and
you know, welcomes
the
tourists.
two sides of that is, yeah, on one hand,
Thank you.
I mean, it's been empty for, because I toured it when it was still running, and I want to say that was at least 15 years ago.
Yes,
At least,
at least more like 20.
more like 20.
Yeah.
And it was rough. I mean, it looked like, kind of looked like this back then,
Well,
because they hadn't done a lot of maintenance.
Again,
Sure.
they were just assembling things, they weren't manufacturing anything,
Right.
so there basically was a big storage area with a few benches and they were putting stuff.
You know, and it's, you know, so that's a big piece of it too.
Yeah.
They had been keeping up, you know,
Yeah.
you look at all the different gables and all the roof lines, oh my gosh.
It's wonderful.
Yes,
I love it.
it would be an awesome scale model. You can make the kits. I think that makes it tough. So anyway,
And definitely this building that's on the side over here was where they used to store lumber
yeah,
and other, I mean, that
This
was,
one?
that wasn't
It's like a
there when they were
stucco.
doing.
Yeah, they were using ash.
this guy.
That
he-
one?
There
Yeah,
was
yeah,
really a
yeah.
lot of good ash around here, that's why we had several baby carriage factories.
Right.
Because they
Right.
used the ash, which was just perfect for that. And then some of the places made the metal parts for the carriages.
Mhm. Okay,
Yeah. Okay. So I think having that little caveat.
Sure.
I feel-
And we're gonna have a tour before.
And we're gonna have a
Before
tour.
you apply for.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, no, we'll set that up, we gotta work with the current owner
Yeah.
to set up a time to, you know, have a tour and work out a schedule that people should come.
Okay,
Great,
That's still the PAX,
I believe so, yes.
that's the PAC.
Uh-huh.
That's who wrote the laws.
Yeah, right.
So would that satisfy your interest for a hearing?
I don't think the hearing is needed at this point, unless, I don't believe we need to schedule a hearing in this particular case.
no, I don't think we do.
No, because
Yeah, because of the factors of it's out of the way, it's in pretty bad condition, so. Yeah, and you're using all private funding too, so it's a little bit out of it.
didn't know you were back there.
So,
No, that's
Sneaked in when I was paying attention.
does anybody want to make a motion to accept their plan, given the caveats discussed?
So moved.
But clarification, I mean, Scott said we're not voting on anything.
Can't, I don't know that we can, I mean,
Until-
what's in front of us?
Yeah, I mean, I
A building permit.
want to say, I feel like we should at least acknowledge that we, based upon the information we have, we should at least,
I don't know what
Are
the,
you talking about the need for peer?
well, I don't know what, I think the process is, we officially get notified after the demolition permits.
After the permit's applied.
right, and I think they wanted to cut, that's why they wanted
We'll
to
hold
see
So
off.
we
us
can't.
beforehand.
We'll hold off till then. Okay, that's.
I don't know that
good
we
point.
can do something until
Yeah,
then.
we need,
Yeah.
we not jump
I
the
mean, I think
process.
we can give you, I mean, we could take a vote on whether we have a favorable impression, but it's not binding until, I think it has
Well,
to go
maybe-
through the
so do you want
process.
to amend the motion to,
I would amend the motion to say, looking for a favorable, you are looking for a favorable recommendation from us.
any other discussion? on that, I guess? Second to that?
Second.
All in favor, yeah?
Aye.
Okay.
Yeah, I abstain.
Abstain. And one abstention. My bad. Okay, so,
All right, so we'll be back in touch. I can leave if you like plans or.
no, that's fine.
Okay,
No,
okay.
Save the trees, man, it's all good. I got the baby one with my cheaters.
Right.
I can do this a little bit.
All right,
Yeah, so
Appreciate it.
let us know as the thing progresses,
sure,
and I look forward to seeing
yep,
a draft of that letter.
sure.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming down, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
They are still in business, yeah.
Yeah.
So they may be doing that there. I don't know what they're doing.
Still got a road snow shovel at Farmers Exchange. Maybe not right now.
Yeah, you kinda can. And if you go to the tag sales once in a while, you'll find Rug made a thing called a snow pusher,
Yeah.
which has got Rug stamped all over it, and it's kinda cool, and it's like a old school snow blower. Yeah, it's just a snow pusher, and
Yeah.
they were pretty good if you
Yeah.
got nothing else. Anyway. Okay, so I wanted to give those guys a chance to speak, but not hold them up too much, but
Mhm.
has everybody gotten a chance to look at the minutes from July? I could read through them.
We were sent out.
Yeah.
Yep, everybody good?
Yeah.
No issues?
Motion to approve?
Second? Any discussion?
Second.
Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes from July?
Aye.
Okay, so moved?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay,
And then what's before? Ever approved in June?
the June ones. Yeah, I don't have those right now, but I have no issues with them, so.
I sent them out,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, I just don't have, I'm just not looking at them right now.
Oh.
Any questions about the June minutes?
Motion to approve?
No.
Seconded?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Up to date. Okay. Old Business Bob, monograph in Court Square.
It's at the printer.
It's at the printer.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Good job, good job.
And Tim too, yeah.
And Tim too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, in a little bit, I'm gonna talk about Vintage Days a little bit.
I see.
And I will jump ahead a little bit and say that I did kind of put you forward, because the monograph is about Court Square, and Vintage Days takes place at Court Square, and it's about vintage stuff, and so is your monograph, and it seems like a pretty good,
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
So we'll have a table maybe? or-
Bob will have a
Bob
table
will
of his
have
own
a
design,
table.
I don't know.
Ah,
Yeah, I guess we'll get to it when we get to it, but
Okay.
other than that, it's at the printers. How many copies are being printed?
75.
Seven. Oof, we're gonna have to up it, we'll go to Vintage Days.
Yeah.
We, yeah,
Oh,
And I
worry
did,
about it then.
I did reach out to the town, and they do have some funding to pay for, if we wanna make more copies.
Okay.
We have $1,100, I think, is our budget for the year. So we have some money left in there. So if that's the thing we wanna do, we can do. Um,
Does the town have a mechanism to actually sell copies?
I
I
don't
know
know.
it's a dumb question, but it's probably not a dumb question.
No, it's not a dumb question. I think it's a very good question, because my thought with the Vintage Days is that, yes, we do it, we or Bob has a table where those are available,
Right.
potentially, to buy. Potentially, I don't
Put
know.
copies in the bookstore.
Is that something that what do you think about that?
I don't know, what do I think about it?
What do you think about that idea?
There's a price on the cover of $15, just because you can't do something that doesn't have a price on it. But I did think about that. Does the money go to the commission? Does it go to the city?
Yeah,
You do
I don't
a
know.
charge, but I mean, at the,
It gets sticky.
yeah, at the academy, we ran the Deerfield Academy Press, and we had a big table, and we sold a lot of copies of different things, and it became very complicated. And it was-
Well, okay, I will make a note, and I will reach out to the town.
Then
And,
we worked with the business office.
Yeah.
They handled a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I
But so it
think,
already has a price. That's good.
yeah.
I guess that's good.
My guess is the only place that cash can come into town is in the clerk's office,
Yeah.
Or the
that's-
treasurers.
or the treasurer's office,
Right.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
You're right.
So,
I'm
so.
sure there's like very strict rules.
Yeah, either way, it's nothing for us to really decide, it's beyond
Right.
our purview.
Yeah.
But I will email the town and find out what they think about
See
it.
what
Yeah.
they want.
Yeah, I mean, you wanna get them to the people, quote unquote,
Yeah.
but you don't necessarily wanna give them to the people either,
No,
right?
no, you don't want to do that.
No.
Or you could be selling them as a private person,
Value.
It won't be valued.
No, we don't want to sell as a private person.
so I don't know, so, right, it's like I said, it's
Is
not,
it
I have no idea about
taxable?
that stuff.
Yeah.
You guys good to close?
Absolutely,
Okay.
thanks, take care. Um,
Caitlin, is that who you should talk to?
Caitlin, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll send an email about that. Okay,
Well, congratulations, we can't wait to see it. When is it gonna be done?
Yes.
When's it, when are we
Well,
gonna?
I think it's already done.
We're waiting to find out about the paper.
Oh, okay.
Having trouble getting paper.
Yeah, Christie keeps on.
Mm.
Down at Tiger Press says things seemed fine, but then they've just got to go to a bindery, and
So maybe a month or something?
I would hope so, maybe even less.
Ah, great. Next meeting,
That's exciting,
maybe.
very exciting.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Seemed like it took a while, didn't it? Longer than you thought?
Yes, losing Peter
Losing Peter Miller was,
really put
yeah,
us way back.
yeah,
That
for
was,
sure, for sure. Okay, anyway, so, CPC review, public hearing. I think I sent you guys the notice and all that jazz, and I went around and put some up around town, and I mean, I guess there was maybe 20, 30 people there or so, you know, not a bad showing, but could be a lot more. And I think my overall takeaway from it was that people tended to show up and be like, pickleball, we need pickleball court. Like, okay, we don't, you, great idea, you should make a, so a lot of people showed up,
Yeah.
hey, pickleball's cool.
Yeah.
But it was kind of weird, like he showed up and he like reaches into his pocket and it was a little sketchy and he's like, boom, puts it down, we're like, what's that? And he's like, pickleball.
I brought you one.
And he showed, yeah. And, so most of the people showed up with ideas.
Yeah.
That's good.
Composting, a lot of bikeway, affordable housing, they wanted to know like administrative costs or can people see the other projects, pollinators, ADA pieces, Franklin Land, and there were people who just wanted to come show their support, like Franklin Land Trust.
Yeah.
Mount Grace came just to show their support. So it was pretty positive. It was pretty positive. And, it's a hearing, so you're going through a PowerPoint and then open to comments, and that was the comments, and then a little bit of that. So the draft plan is out. The public hearing has taken place last Thursday, and then there's where is it? Oh, I don't have the actual flyer. But there's going to be another session in August, in a couple weeks. Yeah.
But, yeah, that's like,
Oh, yeah.
right, sorry, well,
You got. Do
not
you
the
remember that from the
yeah,
flyer?
we have the listening sessions,
Yes.
which isn't like an official public hearing. It's just like if you want to talk to people on the CPC committee. We're doing the farmers market on the 13th, and then an evening, so that'll be like in the morning, 10 to noon, or the votes. And then on the evening of the 18th, it's a Thursday, something over at the swim area. Which hopefully we'll be able to swim there by then, but
Yeah.
it's still be a part regardless.
There's a lot of other recreation there. Thank you, Gar.
So that'll be
Yeah.
for just people want to like come by and be like, tell me about this. What's going on with the thing? And we just got some Christian today. So
Yeah.
He's going to update with like, some of the feedback. And,
Yeah, some of the because people could respond online and stuff like that, feedback. So, so that's about it. So I definitely encourage you guys to go out there and talk to people and try to get more information. But it feels good to have it done. At least that part of it done.
Yeah,
That's the hard part.
Took a while to do, like a year apparently.
right.
Let's see. I was informed by Eric that the town might be sending somebody down. Is that you?
Maybe.
Oh, geez, perfect. Hi. I wouldn't have made you wait so long. I thought you were a visitor. Are you Athena?
I am, yes.
Oh, geez, I am sorry to make you wait
Oh,
this
no
long.
worries. It was interesting listening to y'all.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. This is Athena Lee Bradley?
Yep.
Okay, good. Here, please.
So I am the grant writer and manager for the city. I was hired last November. And I am going to be working on 2 potential grants that would involve you as at least a review body, and I'd love to have your input and all of that. And so the first one is actually for a Massachusetts Office of Disability grant. It's for the Municipal ADA Improvement Grant Program, and we would be applying for a project grant. And right now, the mayor is thinking that we would be looking at the 11 Howey House, the former Hubby House, I'm sorry, the library building, and to modify it in accordance with obviously the historical requirements that we would follow, whoever that does this would follow from the National Parks Association and the feds.
How much of a grant? What is it? How much are you applying for?
We don't actually know, but you can have a sizable amount, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so what she's looking at for right now is probably to modify the front entrance, with a ramp or some kind of feature like that again would be in accordance with whatever we can do for the historical nature.
I can really see.
Problematic for us.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the worst place.
So that's why we're
Yeah.
here. I don't know why this was between a conversation she had with Ellen, the librarian, and how they've had to modify it for the new library construction,
Mhm.
in terms of the walkway and the entrance. And
Sure.
so I can certainly bring your concerns about that to the mayor and to Ellen and see what
Sure.
else. Because we have done nothing for this yet. But I do have to get the proposal developed and submitted by September 30th.
Yikes,
So we are on it tight.
pretty soon.
Well,
Yes.
wouldn't the grant pay for an architect to design?
No, see,
the
that's the
feasibility?
unfortunate thing, is that we had to come up with the design first. So she has,
Whoa.
are you Margot?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought so. So, she has actually talked with Dory
Uh-huh.
at your old firm,
Mm-hmm.
and, because you're retired.
Right.
Correct, good,
Correct.
because you can't talk to me on these things if it goes out to RFP.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, and they think they could do a design for, a quick turnaround at least to do that. There are other grant opportunities we can look at, so she was just throwing this out though, because we have our plan done, we have the ADA plan done and the transition plan or feasibility study and the transition plan is done. And so this grant is to be a project grant that builds upon those plans. And that includes like the city hall we could do as well, would be another idea. There are several other historical
Yeah.
sites that could be
Right.
under this grant, or any other site that needs an ADA combination done.
Yeah.
So, so that would be one thing, and obviously, as it is a historic building, then we would work in concert with you to both develop the proposal. It's not an extensive proposal, but we'll do that, depending on the design, and so I would make sure that we discuss, I don't know if you have, if you could write up anything about your concerns, or we could take a tour. Ellen said she would give a tour
Yeah, I mean, I
of the
think-
site.
Based upon what you told us so far, and I'm speaking for the commission a little
Yeah.
bit, that a ramp in the front of the building would be highly disastrous for the architectural integrity of the
Right.
building.
It'll be like-
Absolutely.
It'll be 100 feet long.
Yeah, it would, right, because clearly.
Yeah,
it's
that has to
300
be
feet long.
created
Yeah, and
in
that's-
the
that's
conversation.
You're gonna have to go back.
The only part of that building that is
That's-
still historical is the facade.
Okay.
Thank you,
Oh,
Tim.
okay.
It's the front
Okay.
view of the building is the only thing, everything else has been modified.
Yeah, and everybody, and anybody could tell you that, when they
Yeah.
renovated it, like in the 40s and stuff like
Yeah.
that, they did all the work in the back.
Yeah.
So that looked good in the front, and then the work was done in the back.
So anything to the front would
Um,
be, not,
So
Well,
that
I
would
mean,
be,
yeah.
the initial thing is, I mean, I love ADA, I think that clearly it needs ADA, but on the side, maybe,
for the back.
or the back,
Well,
or,
Yeah.
the problem in the back is that
Something
if
about
you're
the
down a
bank.
level,
The
Oh,
bank is back there too.
the
And
easement
so
between the bank.
Yeah, there's
Well,
something about that in her email.
I mean, I think we would all definitely agree on, we're on the same page now.
Okay,
The front of the building is, pretty imperative to keep that looking the
Okay.
way it does.
I mean, there are miraculous interventions that preserve the history and sort of hide a ramp in there, and I've seen them done. They've been done at Smith College and a lot of the dorms.
yeah.
So I don't think we should say no to the front door,
Okay.
but I think it is a warning
It's gonna
that
be
it's
100 feet
really tricky.
It needs to
It's
intricate.
preserve Asher Benjamin design of that front of the building needs to be
Need
preserved.
to go away.
And that would be probably our bottom line, right?
Okay.
No, anyway, so I guess
As much as
16
possible.
inches up.
we're happy to work with the
Yeah.
mayor
Yeah.
on coming up with a solution and seeing even preliminary sketches of what that
Right,
would look
okay.
like.
We can even do
Yeah.
it.
But the initial thing is that, yeah, if at all possible, not being on the front, I think would be,
Okay.
yeah.
And your second project?
I hear you. I may be back in September, so I'll talk with you. when
Anytime.
you're
Okay.
about
Sure,
getting back
anytime.
We're here.
on,
Yeah.
Because we'll need to work quickly on
Mhm.
this. And I'll be in email contact with
Mhm.
you all, and that way
Perfect.
good. I have your email and
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Eric, so, okay. So the second one is a survey and planning grant. This is right up your alley. It would be to complete our historical survey in accordance with the Massachusetts requirements and all of that. And as you all know, Margot worked on the original survey, and so we would, I'm glad that Margot isn't who's retired now, because hopefully she can help out with volunteering to make this happen. But what would happen is it's a 50-50 matching grant, so it'd be it's a minimum of $25,000 for a total cost. And so we would have to put in half of that. So we would find some way to do that.
That's applying to Mass Historic. There.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's for their survey grant. And so a letter of intent is due on that in November, mid-November. So once I get working on that more, I'd probably be in contact again to look at that. And they say to get in touch with the MHC staffing first and talk with them. So that's something I'll work with Eric to do and again report back with you all about the project.
Yeah, and you can CC me on that or
Yep, yep.
whatever works.
Yep,
That'd be
be
great.
happy to do that.
There's actually a little video on the Mass Historic site about the planning grant and
Yep.
how to apply
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, I've been on the webinar and
Yeah.
it's a very easy letter of intent. One thing I would ask you all to consider is that for our match, we can use up to 25% volunteer time. And so I don't know if that would be something that you all could think about to see if your input and anything you would do on the site might be able to be a volunteer time. And I think we have to use the Massachusetts minimum wage as a match or something above that. So if that would be a consideration, I could get back with you at your next meeting or before I submit it. I can talk with Eric about it, because Eric cannot be as staff, because he's not a historical staff. We don't have a historical staff person.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah,
I could take-
yeah.
I mean, we wondered if CPC money would be.
It can't be federal money. CDBG funds can help be the match, so I'll talk with MJ about that potential use, because the mayor is aware of that as well, so.
But some towns have used CPC money.
CPC?
Yeah, it's Community Preservation
Oh, okay.
Would be,
Act money.
And do you all get that, or who gets that?
We just started to get it, so.
Okay,
So
well, I don't want to hear
it's
all
like
the money,
250,
but-
we don't get it, it's the Community Preservation Committee.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
grant program that's going around
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
Oh, I like that grant.
It's a
I forgot
separate
about that.
Yep.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah, and it's like 10% historic, 10% recreation, 10%
okay.
conservation.
It's one of John and Margot's many hats that they wear.
So you
Well,
kind
John,
of
As I recall, I offered it to anybody else to be on it,
Yeah.
but any of you. I like that.
So 10% of $200,000 is.
I believe it's 338,000.
Oh, it's up to
is
330.
the-
Okay, so potentially for just a match of 12,000, if that's all we need, we could maybe use a little bit of that.
Yeah, so it
So
would have to be,
apply.
somebody would have to apply, and it would not be me.
Is that, I would need to apply now? So Christian works with you on that.
Yeah, I would reach out to Christian and
Okay, I'm in his
tell him what you want to
office,
do and see what he thinks about it.
I like that.
Because it's really brand new, and like I said, I was just overviewing the hearing, and a lot of people showed up like, this is what we want. Like, no, we don't choose the projects, the people choose the projects.
Right.
That's the biggest takeaway, and so somebody would have to shepherd that project
Okay.
along. And it
Would that
have
be
to
something
vetted.
you all could take on as shepherding it as the commission, since it's like our historical survey and
Yeah,
of great importance and.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said,
think
we
could.
potentially we could. I mean, I would reach out to the state governing agency and try to make sure the ducks are all good with
Well, it
that.
did say, I think it does say CPC funding, but I'll check.
Yeah, Margot is
I know I've
correct.
seen
The
that
funds have
before.
been used for
Okay.
that program before in other towns in the state.
I'll
So
verify that.
there is a
and then
precedence
I'll-
that it's been done.
Yep.
But definitely, if you wouldn't mind contacting
Yep.
Christian,
I'll
and
talk
you
with
can
everybody, yeah,
CC me about it,
Yep.
and that we're talking about it, so that way I know, because
Yep.
we've never did. We're just at the beginning right now, so
that's excellent.
we haven't given any money
Seemed
out.
like a neat program. Yeah, and again, this one's not due until mid-November, so I've got time on that. And then the last thing I wanted to talk with you about, the Massachusetts Historical Commission thinks that we should all apply for the Certified Local Government Program, which is through the National Parks offices. And because anybody who applies for this Certified Local Government Program and becomes a Certified Local Government participant, gets a more preference for MHC grants.
Yeah.
And we're kind of a shoo-in since we're in Western Mass, you get less preference for being in Western Mass unless if you do the local government thing. And
Huh.
so it's basically, it's a simple procedure to apply, and apparently since we have a historical district, we're kind of a shoo-in to become this recognized government, local government persons.
And is there a link, just?
Yeah, it's at the national, if you, I can send you the link, it's just called the Certified Local Government, and if you Google it,
It's
it comes up at the
National Park Service.
National Park Service.
Okay, yeah, I
Yep.
can definitely Google that,
Yeah.
find out.
And there's like 26, there's 27 cities in Massachusetts that are certified.
That's
And
cool.
then who I would go through is the CLG coordinator from Massachusetts and Dorothy.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Dorothy,
Dorothy.
right.
And so she's the contact, and I haven't reached out to her yet because I wanted to run this all by you before I went ahead and talked with her. So-
This is just kind of like an administrative thing to be
Yeah.
like in their system and a
Yep,
known
and
entity, no
promote
partner.
yourself as a historical community.
Okay.
And it's good for, tourism, values and things like that. And we have a lot of good historical sites, so
Sure.
we saw nothing
Sure.
downside on it. It doesn't cost
That's
anything
great.
and it's not a lot of effort, so.
Sure, well, thank you.
So, again, I'll CC you on the communication and you and Eric, and I'll talk to Eric before I go ahead.
Okay, perfect.
May
All
I
right.
ask a quick
All right.
question about the survey?
Yeah.
Matching grant thing? Does doing that commit the town to completing the survey within a
Yes, we
given
want to
time?
complete the survey because we can't apply for any other Massachusetts Historic Commission grants
Sure.
until we do the survey, we complete the survey. Because that's how I happened upon it, is the mayor wanted me to look at doing something with the Levitt Hobby house. And what we could do to either use it for city offices or, sell it, they did have an RFP out there for it. And
Right,
we came upon this preservation grant, which we could use for modifications for it. But we can't apply for that grant until we do complete the survey. So hence the survey, the email that went from the mayor to you, because I instigated that, and
Okay.
then to you.
perfect.
And if we get the matching grant, will it say we have to complete the survey in X amount of time?
I think it's within the fiscal year from the funding, so, yes.
Within, so.
It's a lot of work, but you get a consultant. Consultant does it.
We would do it, that's what the grant pays
No,
for.
we don't have to
No,
do it.
you don't
Yeah.
do the work,
We
no.
definitely
We don't
hold
do
their hands and.
Yes,
and
yeah, if,
give
if you
direction
can, yeah.
and all that, but
Identify them.
no, it's a
Yes.
$25,000
But
consultant.
Yeah,
that's, the
okay.
25,000 would go to them.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, you don't do the work.
No.
Yeah,
No,
this is
you
But
can
it
hold
still
hands
takes
with a company.
forever.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and it's still, it's as much an updating as it is completing it.
Yeah, but it's
I mean,
already existing.
Yeah, because
Right.
So-
Right.
That's
we
what it
already
would be, is
seen-
updating what's on the,
Right.
and Magris, or however you
Macris,
say it,
yeah.
Macris, yeah, that.
It's something that could be
But
completed.
also, not just
Oh, yeah.
Macris, but
Yeah.
also a standalone version for us.
For us.
Right.
There has to be a standalone version, not just the Macris version for
Yep.
Mass Historic, but also a version that we could put up on the website.
Yeah,
City
great.
website and so forth.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this is,
They
like,
might
could
not-
impact, real estate values and housing costs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They might put limits on that, on such a, they want to control,
I know that, that's why I'm putting it up front here.
yeah.
Because, because, I mean, we need to have that standalone one for the city for a number of reasons, not just putting it up on the website, but also to use in our own investigations and so forth, and not just have it in the state computer running with all of the other stuff.
Yeah, we'll have
So
to
then-
see
We'll have
what
to see.
their money gets us and how we
Yeah.
can do that, but I'll do the letter of intent, and if we get awarded the grant, I
Right.
still have to apply to actually do the survey.
Right,
So it's a letter of intent first, and then I'll come
Right.
back with you
Right.
once we get the authorization to move ahead
because
with
if
the
they're using
proposal.
some bespoke program for it,
Yeah,
that's not available to, that you can't, that to me is a problem for us.
Yeah.
A potential problem.
Well, I would
You know,
assume-
some custom-made program that the state owns and you can't use it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, and that's
Copy it.
definitely something to be wary of, but
Yeah.
I think so.
I feel like, we could figure it out.
sort of what's in it for us.
What's the end product, yeah.
I
It's
think
like
we
doing-
would give you an enthusiastic letter of support for your,
Yeah, it's just, again, it's a letter of intent right now, and then the actual proposal is due in February, so I'll
Okay.
certainly be back once or more, probably a couple times,
Okay.
to go through the process and get the proposal to you.
Okay.
Great,
and if you
Thank
need
you.
any other letters, like, we could
I
try to
appreciate that,
hash
yeah,
some
I
out.
don't know if I need them now. Probably
Okay.
for the mod one, I do need a committee of folks, and I'm just saying that I'll be engaging with you all as well as our EDA commission. 'Cause it's-
for the ramp. or the-
Sure.
Yes, if we
Great.
do it on the Living Healthy House.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
thank you very
so
much.
yeah, thanks for your time.
Thank you, good to have you on board.
Oh,
Yeah,
glad to have you.
Yeah, if y'all come across grants that you want me to look
Yeah.
at, let me know.
Thank you. Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we need a grant that gives us a staff person.
Yeah.
Yeah, another Eric was, yeah.
He's
I
got a
agree with
brother, right?
That.
Alan, yeah, he's in the DPW, he's just as busy.
Marlo T, I'm working with them on a streets grant right now.
Right. Take care.
Okay, you
Okay,
too.
thank you.
Thank you, take care. Okay, let's see. Vintage Days. This is a busy month. Vintage Days, so as you all remember, we talked about this last month a little bit, and we've been hearing about this Vintage Days thing for a couple of months, not really knowing what it was. We knew that the GBA was doing it. We're not really, so, Margot and I reached out, we contacted Rachel Roberts. We had a meeting, a Zoom meeting, what was that, last Thursday? Right?
Yeah,
So we had a meeting with her where she shopped all kinds of ideas, and I'll do a little nutshell and give it over to Margot. But so Vintage Days would be the 23rd, so it would be that weekend. It would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Friday she wants to do vintage cars. This is, like where the farmer's market on Court Square. Everything would take place there. And then Saturday, there would be a tractor parade concurrent with the farmer's market. And Saturday would be the big day. That would be like from 8 in the morning to 7 at night or something like that. And then there would be tables and booths set up with information about various things in Greenfield, including walking tours, potentially having a walking tour. And then Sunday, I think it was like motorcycles, maybe. But so she's got a lot of ideas.
Vintage motorcycles and a barbecue fundraiser.
Right. So, she's just kind of, there's a lot of ideas. It's pretty loose right now, but I did kind of commit to blacksmithing on Saturday.
yay.
Yeah, and then to me, the part I'm most interested in is the walking tours, because as you know, we've been talking about the rebuilding and renovating with the walking tours that were done in the way back in the 90s, and modernizing them and having a QR code and having like little, in my opinion, having like little informational kiosks or placards for the
Plaques, yeah.
We've been talking about this for years, sort of thing. So this could be an opportunity. At the same time, I happen to be working with a scout in our troop.
That's right.
As you remember, I think he came here a few months ago, and he was interested in working on his Eagle Scout project, and his Eagle Scout project would happen to be kind of this. So, so it could be serendipitous that it all comes together, but I haven't really worked with the Historic Society about that. So
Are you the best liaison?
Tim might be.
No, I don't, I know some people there, but I have nothing to do with the society. on any regular basis. I haven't gone for quite some time. But certainly there are people who, Megan and other people.
Yeah, Tilda and
that
stuff.
are there that,
I can totally dog them down.
yeah, yeah, but if you're having trouble getting them back, having them get back to you,
Yeah.
is that the problem?
No,
No.
I mean, it's more like I want them to be part of it
Yeah.
because they're the society.
They've contacted the Museum of Industrial Heritage and they've been keeping us about as informed as everybody else. So I would be surprised if they aren't in touch with somebody over there,
This is not.
but I don't know.
When you
who.
say they, you're talking about
Who,
TV.
talking about Rachel Roberts,
Oh,
who is,
okay.
who's alleged, who's
Well, I
coordinating.
just met with her today.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about.
I think she's
Yeah.
kind of counting on
Right.
me or us to do that, but whatever, that's not. a
Would
big
it make sense for the three the three historical groups to get together and talk?
We talked about this last year.
I know.
It still has not transpired. I don't know. Yeah, it would make sense. Yes, to answer your
Yeah, I mean,
question.
we should, if we set a date and we get reps from the three groups together, I mean, would that make sense?
I
mean,
would. Yeah.
my question to you, John, is that I haven't asked anybody from the society about this. I could.
Well, the last time I reached out to him, I never heard back.
That's my
And
question.
it was
Okay.
more than once. It was several times, and I
Okay.
don't want to.
All right, so I will undertake
But I'm in
undertake
the
to
society.
kick them
you know,
away and see if we can't get some response.
And I think more importantly, I mean that's a bigger issue is that we want to have a better relationship with them and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But specifically to Vintage Days, what am I picturing? I'm picturing like 11 by 17, 18 by 24.
Yeah.
Laminated, some pictures, some text with a QR code, stapled to a piece of Luan, stick it in the ground. That's all it's got to last is one day.
Okay.
That's all. I mean, yes, I would like to have like a nice one.
Yeah.
But I think that if we could,
Well, the time frame doesn't really allow for too elaborate.
much more than that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But that basic design could be, as you know, I did considerable talking to companies that make those.
Yes.
And in fact, the one company that I talked to, she keeps sending me emails saying, are you guys going to do that? Because we'd really like to make
Well-
the plaques for it.
Well, so let's you and I talk more about that.
Okay, all right.
And maybe next, and we'll get together with the scout.
And our designer here.
Yeah.
Because our designer is the guy that we want to get involved in that, because that's going to be key, you know?
Yeah, right. I mean, I just assume, right, spending a little bit of time to get the layout
Yeah.
out of the way we want and all that kind of stuff.
We can print them out, get them printed out, do a laminated version temporarily, but then maybe take that same design and talk about getting some money to do it in a more permanent fashion.
Yeah, right.
So you're talking about a downtown walking tour?
Yes.
So,
It has stops.
The museum and the streets thing that we
Yeah,
talked about
right,
before, that's,
right.
right, so it's a
That's the
little bit
idea.
of a mashup of all that stuff. Now, the other thing that Rachel was talking about was a larger tour, which is like a trolley tour.
sure.
And that would be to larger sites, to sites that you would not necessarily walk to.
Sure. I used to do those. Peter used to do those, I used to do those.
So you are the guy.
Yeah,
that are listening to that.
Yeah.
great.
I remember
Well,
those.
Can they be revived?
Can I be revived?
With one of
Hey,
those
you're
things that paddles,
Do you have the paddles?
we could get them.
Well, who controls it? She was gonna check with DPW, right, about the trolley?
No, I think the trolley is all set.
Oh,
So, and
good.
then we talked about coming down the Museum of Industrial Heritage.
Yeah.
And, again,
We'll be open.
she's just, I don't want to say spitballing, but she's kind of putting stuff out there. It's a
Yeah.
little bit loose.
Yeah.
But it has to kind of come together.
I mean, I can certainly do one of those tours, or
Of
multiple
course you
tours.
could. You would probably,
Great.
probably be the best guy for it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay, you're not.
Well,
Well,
you're no Peter
I don't
Miller,
want to brag,
but you do have a pulse, so you are nominated. Sorry. Too far.
but, okay, all right.
You'll never
No, it's
be
true. Like
another Peter
I
Miller.
would need a book. I would be like,
Yeah,
oh,
me
this
too.
is the something. This guy was a rum runner, but now he's dead. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to learn, and I'm sure So, yeah, no, so pencil it in
Yeah.
for Saturday,
Okay, what's the date again?
Saturday, 24th.
yeah,
24th of
September.
September.
Pretty soon, actually.
Okay. I've
It's
got
also the 60th anniversary of GCC.
Yeah, okay.
okay.
Well, we can make a tour of that.
Yeah.
We can go to the Threadwell plant in Arch Street, which used to
Yeah.
be GCC, after it was Threadwell.
Yeah.
If you're an old timer, you think of it as GCC.
One of my favorite stories from that is I was on the doing the trolley, and you know, there used to be a beginner's ski slope on the north side of the Weldon Hotel. Did you know that?
Yes.
There was a wooden ski slope that was built there, and it was a bunny slope, and people learned how to ski.
Oh, wow.
And they had a ski shop in the basement of the Weldon, and they had it pro,
Yeah, what was his name?
Unbelievable.
Mick Mickelson.
There you go. See, even you know the guy's name.
And,
That's-
but when I was on the tour, in two different situations, people on the tour said, "Oh, I learned how to ski there."
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, right.
That to me was just amazing. Yeah, really
Right.
cool.
Well, there'll be plenty to talk about on the trolley ride,
Yeah.
I'm sure. I can't
Yeah.
wait to take it, when I'm not blacksmithing.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and we're doing a, hopefully Greenfield Tree Committee will do a heritage tree tour, very small one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
what else did we talk about?
I think that's it. I didn't take notes, but Rachel.
I took notes, but I don't have them with me, but I got them in my head mostly.
Yeah,
And we did talk today, and you know, the kind of the big thing, if we could get together, would be some kind of a tour, and it would be awesome if Bob could be there with a little table with copies of the books.
Yep.
You know, and maybe in conjunction with the Greenfield Historic Society has a table. You guys have a table. We have a table together, and talk about what the commission does, what the society does.
I'm not gonna be here the 24th.
That's unfortunate.
I'm very sorry. I'm gonna be in Philadelphia.
What? Why?
My wife's,
You don't have to answer.
anyway,
yeah.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
Bad.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
we better find some other.
Find somebody else with.
You know, Lucas,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not
Go
on the
ahead.
commission, but you know Lucas Martin, you remember the thing in the paper?
Oh, the teacher?
Yeah,
Yeah.
couple months ago, he did something, I think it was probably through the
That's right.
society.
That's
Right, he did the walking tour, and they ended up having like 30 people show up. He's like,
Yeah.
this is
Oh,
wild.
that's a good tip.
I totally
And
forgot about
they
that.
did a walkabout, like
Yeah.
I think they did a lot of Hobie. They did like a bunch of the downtown
That's good.
things
That's
that
good.
I mean, presumably he's still teaching, so probably
Sure.
can't get away in September. So
But it's Saturday.
he's captured.
Sure, but also,
Yeah.
we also have the common, and we ought to talk about possibly doing a common tour.
Yes.
If we knew anybody that knew anything about the common.
Right, and so it gets a little confusing. Yeah, because we want to do, it's like there's a lot. So we want to do
Yeah.
a big tour with the trolley.
Yeah.
We want to do a downtown historic district tour,
Walking.
Right.
which is walking tour, which is,
Sure,
and then inside of that would be a Court Square one.
sure,
So so it's kind of really 3 levels of tour,
sure,
right?
yeah.
It kind of gets confusing.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I think the common and the downtown should be united. There should be one.
One,
Yeah, but if you, yes, except that if you want to walk to the end of Main Street,
Yeah, no, I mean,
you're
I
going to
think
want
it
to go to
should
the,
go.
that house is there in the corner of the, anyway, but,
Yeah,
and I always say that, I'm just, whatever, thinking ahead and going, well, there's probably a lot of people that would do a tour around Court Square,
yeah.
standalone as a cool,
Okay.
that to me is cooler. And half the people would be like, oh, you're going to walk all the way to there? I don't know. Is that past the Y?
yeah,
And you
right.
just lose it.
Especially.
I'm just spitballing here, but I would think that 50% of the people would be like, well,
Yeah.
it's past the Y? I don't know. No, so maybe we could work on that a little bit more. So
Yeah.
Tim, we'll talk,
Yeah, yeah,
you and me, and
Absolutely.
we'll work it out a little
right,
bit.
and I will get a hold of the society and see if I can do some paints.
Okay,
Great.
So it's good.
so thank you. Yeah, I think we're, yeah. And it should be cool. The mayor's really into it. The mayor wants to really promote the vintage aspect of town, and
Yeah.
and she wants this to be an annual event.
Yeah.
So this would happen every year. So this is an opportunity to kind of prototype some of the stuff, and then whether it's the signage of the tours or whatever, and to have static displays at the common for, you know, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I feel like that's the situation with that.
I'll try and be available that day to volunteer, you know,
Yeah,
for any of these things. And I mean, I think it's so near in time that concentrating it on the history of the court square, especially since the book is coming, and that's where the event will be, that just seems very logical to me.
Yeah.
Maybe more doable
Yeah.
in the, you know, it's not very much time.
yeah, no,
But
it's,
if the society has another walking tour that's already done, they could
Yeah.
do that one.
yeah, you could,
Yeah,
you
they had one.
could, you could give them, like, yeah, like what Dave's saying, like, we have a guided tour with Bob, signing copies, guided tour around Court Square. But then you can have like a trifold, say, well, if you want to go into a little bit further of a walk, you can go up and down, you know, whatever, half a mile, just to the, down to there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would make sense to try to, well, the main thing is to get something,
Yeah.
to try to get something, I think, for now. So, and if you guys have any ideas or whatever, just let me know. In the meantime, Tim and I will talk. Okay? Thank you. New projects? Any new projects? I feel like we're doing.
We got our hands full.
It seems like we are hands full.
Projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just as we're going back into school. Yeah. I don't know. I did get a demo application for a garage on Maple Street. It was like a little 2-car garage, nothing really, you know. It's from the 50s, you know, kind of falling down, something like that. So nothing historic. That's it. That's it in terms of other.
We're gonna look at the Riddell building.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't connect on that.
we didn't
To
connect,
run
and
Yeah.
you know, now that we're back, we
Yeah.
could next week.
I'm good.
I'll reach out to you about that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Riddell Street building.
Yeah.
And you'll put your ear to the ground about what might be happening.
Yes. Well, and so supposed to meet with the mayor next week.
Yeah, you and I, right?
Yes.
Yep,
To
we could ask.
cover this stuff and just to check in. We're trying to make regular time with the mayor so we can kind of be aware of stuff a little more. We can definitely look into using the town hall and potentially we could be meeting at the town hall next week, or next month, sorry. Next meeting.
Because they'll have,
Because they have that facility there.
yeah.
Yeah, because I was at another meeting and I was like, oh, what's that?
Mhm.
I was, it's the only time I ever saw it. So, it's
Main meeting room
it's that
upstairs.
main meeting
Yeah.
room, yeah, just sort
Okay.
of, around by the water cooler.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Okay,
I'll find out about that
Change
too.
of venue, perhaps.
Could be, yeah. At least for now, until,
So to be clear, that's what Dawn brought up with us as we were discussing whether to move our meetings to town hall so they can be recorded.
yeah, I mean, right, so that's, we can talk about it for sure. I mean,
I don't have an issue with it,
I like meeting here.
but I like it here too. But
I just do. But if we wanted to meet here, the technology piece is tricky. Because I can remember we did a few hybrid meetings where you were.
Yeah, I was away
And it's
and I
very,
just looked
and
at
you
your
can't,
face the whole
you
time.
can hear, but you can't really see. You need like one of those
I don't
camera
think it didn't work well from here.
It doesn't work that well.
No.
So, I guess I'll look at, I'll see what the town policy says right now.
Yeah.
And what they look at forecast doing. Because
Whether
once,
the meeting room's available, we'll see.
yeah, well, that's always been the other problem too, is that we
Yeah.
have conflict with meeting times because we're
Thursday
small.
can be a busy.
We're small
it's a
fry.
busy night.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
potentially we might have to move our meeting time. There's other things, we've already had to move our meeting time a few times since I've been here. I just assume not do it again, but whatever. I will find out. I will let you know, for sure.
Does a staff person need to record it, or what are we're talking about meeting in a different room that has cameras in it?
Right, so because some of the meetings are hybrid, so the town has a meeting room upstairs that has the facility, the technology to record all that stuff and to do all that stuff there. So that would satisfy that issue, is to meet, just to meet there.
If we do a hybrid meeting?
If people wanted to watch and or record the meeting, and you know, like that kind of thing, like those big meetings in there, GCTV covers them, and so people can go back and look at. But for us, all we really have is the record of our minutes, which is, you know, not a full transcript necessarily. So you would.
Is that required, or?
Well, that's the thing, is I don't know if it is
I
or
guess
not.
it'd be
Nobody,
nice to know
and
if it's required.
and that's what I said is. Nobody ever said to me, "Oh, you got to do this." Obviously, because we're still meeting here.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the answer is no, it's not required.
yeah.
I mean, that's a simple I can answer that question. I mean, the open meeting law has not changed.
Yeah.
Has to be
They have to
advertised,
be
it has to be open,
posted,
yeah.
and they, in certain specific timeframes,
Mhm.
and they have to be open to the public, but
Mm.
the minutes have to
They
be.
don't have to be recorded.
No,
No.
definitely not.
Yeah, you know, and that's, it goes back to the fact that, you know, who's going to record it? Me? I'm with a tape recorder, and then what am I going to do? Like, give it to Eric? Here's a cassette tape, dude. Like, what?
Yeah, right.
He's a town engineer. I'm going to give him a
Yeah,
cassette
I
tape
know.
or something. Like, I'm not the guy for that, and none of us. And I'm speaking whatever, but none of us are really set up to do that,
Yeah.
I agree.
right? Nobody wants to volunteer to record the meetings.
No.
No.
The only thing I
Dave's
know
probably
about
got the
recording
tech
is
chops
that.
there.
I don't think so.
I just don't think we should incur extra work for anybody. That's
Yeah,
It's just.
doesn't
work.
have to be
Yeah.
incurred.
yeah. That's my general feeling about it.
We'll
Uh-huh.
see what the town has to say.
Yes, see what the town has to say about it, and we'll go from there.
Great.
So, anything else?
No.
No? All good?
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion
So
adjourned.
moved.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, meeting adjourned, 6:16, well, 6:13. Fuck, it's fast.